We have breaking news at this hour. Donald Trump is in a complete panic. And right now, he is making a last ditch effort to essentially pressure House Republicans to not release the Epstein files. According to the Wall Street Journal, he's actively and frantically calling Republican members across the House of Representatives. His White House team has kind of worked into overdrive in an effort to stall the upcoming vote on Tuesday to release the Epstein files. Now, here's the thing, there's nothing stopping it. The files are going to be released based on that House vote. The only question is by how much? Because the key issue here is not whether or not there'll be enough votes to pass the legislation. You only need a simple majority, and they already have that forced the discharge petition. The question is whether or not they can secure a veto-proof majority. That's about 290 votes in the House of Representatives, because 290 votes ensures that Donald Trump cannot overturn via veto, essentially. If this passes the House, passes the Senate, and then gets to the desk of Donald Trump, he can't veto it, because then the House of Representatives will vote to overturn it. And so that is the key. Right now, Thomas Massie is the leading Republican on this. He projects that there will be enough to have a veto-proof majority. Now, should we believe him? That's TBD, essentially. But right now, Donald Trump is panicking. So make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to spread the word. At the same time, he has sent out Todd Blanche, his deputy attorney general, who is gaslighting the American public on television about the Epstein files. I want you to watch his appearance on Fox News.
But look, the Epstein files, the Epstein investigation is something that has gone on for over a decade, and there's nobody that wants to make sure that we deal with that more than President Trump, more than Attorney General Bondi, Director Patel, myself, and that's what we're going to do. And so that's when President Trump said that on Friday, that's nothing different than what we're going to do anyway. And so we're going to continue to find out if there's anybody responsible, anybody that hasn't been held accountable, and if they're out there, we'll find them.
Yeah, I think most Americans would say the fact it has been going on for more than a decade, and it seems like nobody's left to prosecute or bring charges against. You can't seem to find evidence is what's concerning to people. And more.
Now, what's interesting about this is that just a few months ago, Todd Blanche was telling us that essentially the investigation's concluded, that there is not enough evidence to pursue an investigation, that it's done. And yet now he's telling us the complete opposite. And the question remains, who is telling the truth? Now, Blanche went on to continue gaslighting the American public, saying that he's going to investigate and see whether and hold anyone else accountable.
And so we're going to continue to find out if there's anybody responsible, anybody that hasn't been held accountable, and if they're out there, we'll find them.
Yeah, I think most Americans would say the fact it has been going on for more than a decade, and it seems like nobody's left to prosecute or bring charges against. You can't seem to find evidence is what's concerning to people, and more transparency, the better.
So we'll see what happens. Ultimately, it seems like they now want to investigate. Now, here's the thing. We have a House vote on Tuesday. That is the critical moment right now. Epstein survivors want folks to call their representatives, to email their representatives, make their voices heard right now, because it is an urgent situation where we need a supermajority, essentially, in the House, a veto-proof majority. And Thomas Massie is reminding his Republican colleagues in this moment about what's at stake.
The president's been saying this is a hoax. He's been saying that for months. Well, he's just now decided to investigate a hoax, if it's a hoax. And I have another concern about these investigations that he's announced. If they have ongoing investigations in certain areas, those documents can't be released. So this might be a big smokescreen, these investigations, to open a bunch of them as a last-ditch effort to prevent the release of the Epstein files.
Thomas Massie is right. That's a common thing that I've actually been hearing lately, is that the reason why Trump opened up this investigation using the United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York is precisely that. To say now, well, it's under investigation, we can't release the files. But Massie is making clear that his Republican colleagues should vote yes regardless.
But I would remind my Republican colleagues who are deciding how to vote, Donald Trump can protect you in red districts right now by giving you an endorsement. But in 2030, he's not going to be the president, and you will have voted to protect pedophiles if you don't vote to release these files, and the president can't protect you then. This vote, the record of this vote, will last longer than Donald Trump's.
I think that is a key point, which I've been trying to make for a long time, that Donald Trump is a lame duck president. He ends his tenure in 3 years, in 2028 or January of 2029. He cannot protect these House Republicans when they are up for re-election in 2030, and many of them want to stay in office longer than Donald Trump will be in office. They want to be in the House longer than Trump will be in the White House. Now, will they be? I don't know. This is an issue that a lot of voters across America are very serious about. They want transparency. They want accountability. And the people that deserve the accountability and transparency the most, well, none other than the Epstein survivors. And well, a lot of people are like, well, okay, it passes the House. What happens in the Senate? Today, we got a little preview of what will happen in the Senate from one of the leading Republican senators, John Barrasso.
Epstein measure passes the House. Will it get a vote in the Senate?
It'll come to the Senate. We'll take a look at it. If it passes the House, we'll see what it says. And we all want accountability and transparency. But to me, this is not about truth. It's not about justice. This is about an attempt by the Democrats to make President Trump a lame duck president, and I'm not going to aid and abet them in their efforts to do that.
But you don't commit to a vote, Senator? You don't commit to holding a vote if the Epstein measure passes in the House? Just very quickly, we're almost out of time.
Well, what I've said and what Senate Leader Thune has said is we'll look at it, we'll look at what's come over. I don't even know that it's going to pass the House. The Senate will make a decision, we'll have a discussion about it and make a decision from there.
So as you can see, he's not committing to a vote. But here's what sources tell me on Capitol Hill. If it passes the House on Tuesday, which all signs point to it will, I'm not actually worried about it passing. If it passes with the veto-proof majority, senators will have no choice but to vote on it. And when it gets up in front of the United States Senate, we need a veto-proof majority there too. That's 67 votes. That's a little bit harder than getting a veto-proof majority in the House because some of these senators, well, they don't want to vote to release the Epstein files. They want to protect Donald Trump. And so it'll be a full court press, a full throttled effort to try to get the files released, to try to get senators to vote to release the files. And ultimately, we'll have to see what happens then. But if the House passes enough to surpass the regular majority, to get this supermajority, to get this veto-proof majority, senators will have no choice but to consider the legislation, but to vote on it. And so that's where we're at right now. It is a major, major fight. We have a fight on our hands. I will continue to provide you updates every step of the way because this is too important for the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's horrific crimes. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll have another update shortly, an exclusive update, so stay tuned.